G'day guys, and welcome to the Centre Bounce, where today I will be giving you my early January team update video. Stay tuned. Sup guys, it's your boy Joe here bringing you the next iteration of my team, and there have been some changes. You would have seen in the video where we had our Ruckman video discussion. I was very much talking about it from a Tristan Xerri perspective, and Big J was talking about it from a Max Gorn side of the things. I gotta admit, I think I might have seen the light and probably am going to back away from the Tristan Xerri selection. It was definitely ballsy because of the injury concern. That injury concern, the lack of, I suppose, sustained runs on the board for Tristan Xerri is probably the biggest reason why I'm not going to actually end up starting the guy. Because what happens if he gets injured for me in round one or round two? I'm basically eating a lot of caca. So I've decided I'm not going to go balls to the wall, metal to the pedal, really all in on this fairly risky strategy. Instead, I'm going to play it a bit more based and probably a bit more looking forward to the long run. So, this is what the team will look like. It's blank. Oh no. We're going to go through it together, guys. Don't worry. So, starting in the back line, we're going to go with one Nick Dacos. This guy, I have occasionally thought about not starting him, but this kid is just too good. For him to, I know people are talking about, the tag and Hawthorn, the buy. I think Nick Dacos, he doesn't play against Hawthorn until like round 6 or so. So I have no problem, or round 5 or round 6. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly which round he plays against the Hawks, but up until then, Nick Dacos will have no problem scoring a lot of points, and he is certainly a captaincy option. He's got the DPP, which is wonderful, and I love this guy. He's got a lot of upside. Second off the rank is, of course, Sicily, Sick Dog. The guy has that dog in him. He is a gun, and we've talked him up a lot. So that remains. Harry Sheezel's on the side. The training reports and from Big J himself, it looks like Harry Sheezel is going to be playing predominantly in the back line with a bit of midfield time as well. That's not a problem for me. As long as he's not playing forward, I'm happy. There's no Hall, there's no Zeeble. Yes, there's McKercher in there. Yes, there's potentially Fisher there as well. But Sheezel, I think, will be the man, and his ball use is exquisite. I think they'd want the ball with Sheezel more than a Fisher type, who historically has been a bit of a clanger merchant. Fourth premium, I am really liking the 4 primo setup in the back line. As much as I love my boy Jordan Ridley, if I'm going to stick with only 4, I think Hayden Young seems to be the more surer of the picks, considering that he's going to be playing in the midfield. It almost seems confirmed at this point that he'll be playing midfield. He's having an actual preseason playing in the midfield with training there with his fellow mids, as opposed to last year where he was just thrown in there haphazardly and it still came up really good. So I can only imagine that with a preseason of training, he's going to be a gun. So those are the 4 premiums in the back line. We, of course, have Zach Williams. That hasn't changed at all, as well as Nick Caulfield at D6. I love my boy Zach Reid. All of the training reports and everything that I'm hearing coming out of Essendon is that Brad Scott is really bullish on him. He is having him do absolutely everything in lockstep, side by side, all the training, all the running, all the everything, heck, probably all the defecating as well, doing it all in lockstep with Ben Mackay. It seems that Brad Scott really wants him to play and play alongside Mackay, who's obviously going to play in round 1, and of course, Toby Pink, who really is a forced pickup, really. He's a walk-up selection every single week for North Melbourne, and that's what we want. We want players who are going to play. We then move to the midfield, and we start, of course, again with Zach Butters, top of the rank, absolute gun. And then we scroll a bit more until we get to Brayshaw. He is our M2. This could be a little bit light one compared to a bunch of other teams, but you'll see what I'm going for. Sammy Walsh is the third mid. We all know how much of a gun this guy is. I like to call him Bionic Man because of his running capacity. It's actually ridiculous, almost superhuman. He's an absolute machine, and we saw what happened when he played in the back half of the year when he finally came back from injury. He absolutely torched that final series. Tuku Miller, as I mentioned in the previous video, this guy for that price is absolute value. We get to have a free look at him in round 0 to see how he plays against Richmond, to see what the structure is going to be like. But he's a gun player, and as we know, with Dimmer Hardwick coach sides, he does not tag, so that tagging. Plus, there is the reports that they want to make the Gold Coast Suns a fun team to watch. I imagine there will be a lot of running, a lot of spreading, and that there's nothing more fun when it comes to the Gold Coast Suns midfield than watching Tuke Miller in full flight. So I imagine a guy of Tuke Miller's caliber should hopefully flourish. He has shown that in the past. He's certainly capable of doing so. Now, this one is going to be an interesting one. I have mentioned him. We have mentioned him in previous videos. Got Karl Amon at this point. At this point, it's a really awkward price point, but the way my team is set up, really, it just seemed to be that this was the right player, I think, at this point in time. Obviously, there's a lot to go under the bridge between now and the start of the season, but from the reports, he's going to be playing off halfback, and when he plays there, he is really good. They're moving GF out of the back line and playing him more on a wing and freeing up Karl Amon to move into the half-back line where he can use his great ball skills as well as his leg speed as well. So it seems clear that Karl Amon is probably the number one selection to be that mover off half-back for the Hawks. And if he does that, then he will get defensive DPP and he will be a keeper in the back line, probably averaging around 100, which will, I think, have him sitting comfortably at D6 for me. So I'm picking him here as a keeper for the year. When he gets his defensive mid, DPP, I'll be able to move him into this D6 spot, and my back line will be one spot fuller. So that's why I've got Karl Amon there. Obviously, there's still a bit to go on the bridge, but hold on to that thought and watch that space. We then get to Kobe McKercher, who is going to definitely be in there. Sanders definitely going to be in there, as well as Daniel Curtin going to be in there. These three do not leave my side. Now, the midfielder rookies, he can be whoever you like. Binns, according to our good friend Pommy in Oz, our good friend Pommy, our resident Carlton superstar fan, likes the look of Binns in his pre-season, which is good to see. Jeremy Sharp, I think, is going to be a must in everybody's side, and Jai Clark. So, really, at the end of the day, if any of these guys don't play in round 0 or round 1, should I say, don't play in round 1, then they're not going to be in there. Plain simple. We want them to be playing rookies. We then get to the rucks, and as I mentioned right off the bat, Max Gawn is in. What this guy has done in his career as a solo ruck has been nothing short of sensational. He will be solo rucking. Yes, Van Rooyen will chip in here and there, but Max Gawn is him, and he's 32 years old. I know I've said in the past I don't want anyone over 30, but you got to say that the ruck line, the ruck position, is the sole exception. So many incredible ruckmen have continued to score around the 110s into their 30s. I think Max Gawn is up there. Cox was up there as well. There's Todd Goldstein as well. There's been a number of amazing ruckmen who have scored over 110 late into their 30s. So definitely going to stick with him at that position. We get Brodie Grundy at R2. I think he's one of the big locks of the preseason. And as I have mentioned in previous videos and as well in the comments section of another video, Toby Conway, I think, is the guy for R3. It seems he's going to play, and we need to make sure that we have playing rucks. Jordan Sweet is an option, but I don't know about his job security fighting for his ruck spot over there at Port Adelaide. We get to the forwards, and this forward line has given me a lot of grief because of this guy, Jack McRae. I keep coming back and selecting him really as a blocker more than anything. Not because I genuinely believe he's going to pop off this year. It's very likely there will be some regression, but I'm just gonna go with the crowd on this one. I'm gonna play it safe, and if everyone goes down, at least we go down together. Flanders at F2, and then again we drop a long way down to Billings, and then we get Harley Reid, and then we have, of course, Darcy Wilson, who we spoke about in the last video, as well as Manor, Sean Manor, and then on the bench, I like having Cadman. Why is he not? I like having Cadman on the bench. I think for that price is really good. And really, whoever you want at this point, I'm just going to go Darcy at this point. And that is the team with 8,800 left in the bank. Now, I did say that I want you to pay attention to how my team is structured up. The reason why I've wanted it to be this way is for the number of premiums that I've got, the number of keepers that I have for the year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is a 13 primo or 13 keeper team. It's very hard to have 13 keepers for the year to start off the team. And I want to start with 13. It is very guns and rookies, as you might have heard us say a number of times. I want to start my team off in the strongest way possible with the greater number of premiums possible, because we're going to be playing with a lot of bye rounds where it is a best 18 format. And in my mind, having more premiums on the field means that in those best 18s, I'm going to end up having some better scores, in my opinion. So having no dud players, having a full list of playing players, as well as an extra premium, I think makes it very worthwhile. It is very hard to fit in money-wise, which means that we're looking for value where we can find it. I think Flanders has value at his price. Gawn and Grundy both have value at their prices. Carla Amon, I expect, or I'm hoping, I should say, to be a keeper in the backline at D6. And so for that price of 483, I consider that to be value. Tuke Miller at 545, he's certainly capable of a lot more than that. His price has been reduced because of his injury-affected season last year, where he's had to tank as well. So I think there's value there. Same thing in Walsh, there's value there. I think Brayshaw is very fairly priced at that point as well. And Sheasel, I think there's upside to him. Young, there's upside to him. So this is a team really predicated on value, in my opinion, where each of these players, or at least the majority of these players, are certainly capable of giving me more than what I've paid for them, whilst also being able to field an extra premium compared to most other teams. It might come down to, for example, an Amon and a rookie like Wilson, for example, compared to maybe two mid-prices. That's a question that people have to ask. Is it going to be better having two mid-prices as opposed to a rookie and another premium? I want to go with the premium. I want to not run out of trades sooner. I would much rather have a finished team and leaving myself with some luxury trades in my back pocket, up my sleeve, in case there comes a rainy day and I need to be bailed out. I've had some experience in the last couple of years where you really wish you had that extra trade or two, and you don't feel that way until you're up to the lattest part of the season. Because just because you might have a finished team, it doesn't mean that the game is over and the season is over. There's still heaps of football after you complete your team. I think it's absolutely vital that you have some luxury spare trades to really cover yourself in those circumstances. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my updated team. This early January period. Of course, it is subject to change. It has changed a little bit. Let me know in the comments down below if you think that it is a bit of an upgrade. Let me know if I'm off my peanut in selecting Carl Amon, whether or not I'm being a bit too optimistic in what his upside could be, and really just sort of hoping that it would work to get it to fit in my team. I personally think that it is worthwhile. I reckon he can average around 100, which would be acceptable for me in a D6 position. Of course, you are more than welcome to let me know in the comments down below. If you've liked this video and you like how I've gone about it, please drop us a like. A subscription if you're new would greatly help the channel. We've seen some tremendous growth very recently in our channel, and it's a massive thanks to you guys. Please hit that notification bell as well so that you don't miss out on all the videos and all the content that we are continuing to pump out over this preseason. And remember, guys, here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work so that you don't have to.